Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kings Speak. This episode is titled Built Different. Okay, I feel that. To me, it's a polysemous statement, but we're going to find out from our guest what exactly that means for him. So, Kings Speak is an interview series designed to connect with men kind of on a different level, right? You know, if we look at stories, men are always talking about motivation and self-mastery and business and all of these things. But the reality is men go through the same thing women go through. So this show was designed to talk about self-mastery, manhood, emotional intelligence. So we have gentlemen on here who talk about things like vulnerability and, things that they have to overcome, their upbringing, and all of these subjects that really help us understand one another better. Men and women are made to be together, whether it's in a romantic relationship or business or anything of that nature. The more we know about each other and how each other functions and remove the dehumanization that we do to each other by making each other objects or wallets and all of this stuff, the more we can connect on a real level, I feel like, is a better way to just connect in general and communicate in general and fall in alignment and get into harmony with one another. So this is about harmony. When you listen to music and it sounds good, it's because all the notes are playing properly. So that's all we're trying to do here is listen, understand, grow, glean, talk, and keep it real and have some fun. So today, my guest is actually somebody I've seen on Twitter. I've been following this guy for a while. I think he's dope. He's got an interesting energy. Sometimes I agree with the stuff he says, sometimes I don't, but he is bold. He's passionate. He's doing his thing, and I love it. So this gentleman is from Alabama. He's actually an independent insurance adjuster, amongst other things. He's very well traveled, and I'm excited to talk to him. So let's welcome our special guest, Stephen Storey. Let me pull him up in here. And we on. Are we in there?
Can you see me?
There we go.
Jaimi, I appreciate you letting me hop on here with you. I had to go down and catch my security guard out, order some food, so he had to call me up and take some food. But anyway, yeah, guys, my name is Stephen Storey. Like Jaimi said, I'm from Alabama. I've been in the insurance business for a long time now. I am living in Brazil and in Brazil. And I'm talk to y'all about whatever you want to talk about today.
I love it. Well, I did see you tweet earlier. You said you needed some food and a nap. So we know you got the food going. Did you get your nap?
No, I didn't get a nap in, but we good. We're good.
You go hard. Okay, last thing before we get started. Do you have earphones? Do you have one that you can plug in?
I do. Let me grab real quick.
Okay, we'll do a little. Sure. Yeah, I'd love to have that just because, the audio be wanting to get real special on us, but we gonna get it and we got it together. Hey, Sunny Rose in the chat. She said, hi, Stephen Storey. Welcome.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and get my Bluetooth on here real quick.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I have been following you on Twitter for a while and I always see your stuff. You're very diligent. I liked you when I was drawn to your stuff because I'm like, this guy doesn't care what people think. He does his thing. He works hard. He has his opinions, his ideals and whatever. And you're raw about it. And I love it. So we're just going to talk about all that. And I threw some other questions in here, but whatever. We'll just have a conversation. And since we are talking to a traveler, we're going to go down a road of conversation. So I wanted to start by talking to you about your family life and your upbringing and getting a little bit of background of what that is for you.
Yeah, so I'm from Alabama. I grew up in a Baptist household. My dad was a pastor, so we did a whole lot of Wednesday night Bible study, waking up in the morning, reading the Bible, going to church every Sunday. And we had a real close-knit family. Me and my two sisters, my mother and my father, they've been married over 40 years now. And just growing up in a small town allowed me to we just doubled down on family, so we stayed really close to each other and we still very close now. So I think that's probably my biggest advantage in life is having a mom that I like, having a dad I actually like, having two sisters I actually like, not just as, family members, but I just like them as people.
That's amazing. I'm actually in the same boat. And to be honest, it's kind of rare that I speak to someone who was raised like me. Like my parents are divorced now, unfortunately, after 27
Mm-hmm.
years of marriage, but I grew up in a family household. And a lot of things that are important to me when it comes to King Speak is that
Mm-hmm.
I think we've gotten away from men and women being able to understand each other in a healthy way. But if
Yeah.
we're not communicating and in harmony and just healthily able to support each other, how are we going to get to that family unit? This is about
Right.
family. It's the foundation.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
with that being your foundation, how has that contributed to who you are and how you navigate life now?
That's a long answer to a short question.
Yeah, because I love it. It's a big deal.
Well, in comparison to other people, because I have my parents who support me, and not only was my parents both, my dad was in the ministry, but my parents are both entrepreneurs. So I'm also an entrepreneur. So because of that, I got a ton of support always a lot of positive messaging about the things I wanted out of life and what I wanted to do. And my parents, for the most part, supported me in those things. So I don't have that little voice in my head as loud as other people. Like I still have doubts, but it's not as loud. And when I have doubts, I'm just gonna talk to my mom or my dad about whatever problems I have. So like even in my, I'm in my 30s now, but even being in my 30s, but being able to say, hey, let me call my dad. Hey, what do you think about this idea? Hey, let me talk to my mom. Hey, what you think about this? Talk to my sister. Hey, what you think about this? What do you think about that? And just having a sounding board that's positive. Because when I see other people, a lot of people have to go at it alone. And if you're watching this, you got to go at it alone. I understand. Your children know how to do that. You might have to do that, but your children know how to do that. So, but for me, it's like, it's just made things, it's a huge advantage for me, because I think, okay, you might not be able to have wealthy parents, but you have supportive parents. It's damn near like having wealthy parents, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, support it, we get currency confused sometimes these days. If we're just in the
mm-hmm,
right current of what we're supposed to, that could be support, that could be peace, that could be money
mm-hmm,
sometimes, but there's so
right,
many other things of value that go on that add to our overall well-being that are not just
right,
monetary. So I love that you said that because support is major. I too came from that space. My mom, she's a little less entrepreneurial, and my dad is he's military and he's very linear and by the book. So we butted head, but they supported me. It was like, all right, she out there, what do you do? Okay, well, she's doing that, and it was all good. And that, I guess is a major game changer, of course,
I agree.
in, contrast to somebody who doesn't have it at all. So with that being
Mm-hmm.
said, like, you being a young man, you're in your 30s now, are you preparing for a family of your own, or do you believe in having that rootedness and that foundation for your kids? And what are some of the things that you do to work towards creating the same foundation that you had?
Well, first things first, I'm speaking to men here, okay? You need to be preparing for a family once you're able to have children. Okay. So, when you're 15, 16 years old, you hitting puberty, 14, 13, whatever, that's when you need to start preparing for a family. And so that means skipping that, a lot of the big life changing mistakes, whether that's, getting a felony early, uh, having a bunch of children early, not getting education early. All those things are me planning for my family. Now that's starting to look more like finances, right? But if you're a young man watching this, it's your decisions on what to do and what not to do that's going to be you preparing for a family. Because, okay, here I'm at 32. I speak two languages. I have a strong career. That is not a today decision. That is a 21-year-old me decision. That's deciding to wear a condom and practice sexual discipline. And hey, I'm not going to mouth off to this person here. I'm not going to fight this person here. I'm not going to, you see what I'm saying? These are all family planning decisions because as a man, okay, you might not have an egg. The egg is like a woman, but you're still the decision maker. and you will be a decision maker for family at some point. So you have to be your own family as an adult. So, okay, look, I got to control myself. I got to control myself through space as we get into the time for when I do have children, right? So it takes a lot of responsibility, and guys that are practicing that good job. And if you made some of those mistakes, life ain't over yet, but you need to be clean your act up as you prepare to either have a family or prepare to have, make your family better that you currently have. Did I answer that question all the way, Jay?
Yeah, no, I love it. It makes perfect sense. I was kind of raised to think that way, but when I got into the adult world, I realized there were so many people that weren't. And when you are young and you're trying to navigate and your friends are doing one thing or the media is saying one thing or certain lifestyles look a different way, it can be confusing at 19, 20, 21. So I guess we can only hope to have. So what do you think was a big contributor for you to literally be able to have that kind of mindfulness at such a young age? So that way, you don't have tons of kids or you're not just, like you said, mouthing off to people or felonies and things like that.
Yeah, it's you gotta have vision. You need to know where you're trying to go, right? Like you gotta have a serious vision for your life. And my dad would sit me down and say, "Son, either you're gonna be a chicken or you're gonna be an eagle," right? Both of these things are birds, but chickens, they just pecking that shit all the time, and the eagle is flying high, looking low at what they want, and they're able to make decisions, right? And so I would always reference that. It's a corny little story, but like it allowed me to see who the chickens were in my life and say, all right, look, you a chicken. All right, you're gonna be here. I'm gonna leave you where you are. And for the most part, I was right. Most people were the people I thought made bad decisions still make bad decisions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you gotta be, you gotta be constantly vetting people. And it's not to say, I don't like the term, and this is something I don't like about our culture where we do this whole like fake humility thing. Well, I ain't no better than the next man. I am better. Okay. We might have been born the same, but I made myself better than you. And I'm gonna act like it. And so for some of y'all that's watching this, look, I'm not like you, okay? My life is different than yours. And your life is different than mine because of the decisions we made. But I am better than somebody. And I'm gonna act like it. And so that's where you gotta vet people and say, hey, look, you making decisions I don't want to make. You living a life I don't want to make. You're living a life I don't want to have, and I would not trade places with you. So we're not gonna be doing this whole like us being together around each other all the time type of deal,
Yeah, you said a couple of things that really stood out. I do love the chicken and the eagle story because chickens, they eat off the ground. Eagles, for goodness, eagles make love in the air. Okay, so that even speaks to how you choose a partner. There's nothing on the ground for an eagle; it just doesn't fit. So I love how you said that, and then you said the fake humility. I definitely have to admit, I don't even know if it was. I like how you're comfortable with being able to say, "Yeah, I'm better than somebody." Like if I'm making better choices, working harder, and doing what I got to do, and you're not. I'm better. It is what it is. The fake humility gets us nowhere. Correct.
And that's the thing, right? Like, and I think for Black people, like, and it's granted, like, obviously, like, we like to flex and all that other shit, but even then, we still preach this like whole like, these clothes and money is all. I ain't no better than the next man. Shitting me. You shitting me. Right. Look, I am going on record. I'm better than some of you motherfuckers, okay? And until you make yourself competitive with me, you're gonna have to just accept what I said, because as men, especially specifically speaking about men live in a competitive world, okay? We live in a competitive world, and if you're American, you live in a capitalist country with limited resources. And so if you're getting more of the resources and you're getting to experience more of the world, you are better, okay?
So, I love it. It's funny. I don't feel like it was, but I have made the mistake of just, I want to love everybody and let everybody in. And I know that they're whatever, but I'm understanding. And it's only burned me. And I did have to get to the point where I was vetting better because you're right. People are not the same. So let's talk about this being built different. Okay. I love when you post that because then I always put under it. I was like, you know what? I'm built
Built
different too.
different, baby.
Let me put
Built
that.
different.
Yes. So tell
Come
me all about
on.
that.
Yeah, so it was really just a joke. It was really a joke to me. I really, it made me crack up, but I believe it. I believe it because, being built different, obviously I wasn't the person who made it up or anything like that, but I think that people need to remind themselves that we are always under construction. I've reinvented myself several times. Like I am from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, guys. I'm a college dropout, and to go from that to being bilingual, living in 3 different countries and working in other places and doing all these things, that takes me building, destroying, rebuilding, destroying, rebuilding over and over again. And that's why I'm like, hey, I'm built different, man. I don't know about y'all. I got through this a different way than you did, so I got to be built different, And this confidence that I have comes from lack of self-neglect. Okay, so that's why I feel this way. And anything I'm saying to you guys, and you feel in your heart that you feel like I'm offending you in some kind of way, it's because you are neglecting a part of you. Okay, there's a part of you that you need to work on, and you're avoiding it. And so instead of facing it and dealing with it, you feel offended by what I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, no, and that's a great way to put it. I love that you say it as like it's a lack of self-neglect, because we talk about self-love and all of these things, but one thing that I feel like is coming up a lot in this climate is our lack of accountability. And it does kind of seem like, especially in the Twitter world and online social media, everybody has an opinion, but it's like, what are you doing? What are you contributing? How is what you're saying or sharing building you up or filling holes within you and all of these things? So I think we're really confused with this. So how do you feel like social media really puts a hole in people neglecting themselves?
Well, I think social media is just one of many tools that you can use to neglect yourself. I also think it's a mirror. So, for example, if I'm gonna speak about men because I ain't never been a woman before. So
I got you on the woman part.
right. So for men, whenever I find myself, I'm gonna speak for me, I ain't gonna speak for other men. Whenever I find myself looking at women a lot, it's because I'm neglecting parts of me. Like, and I'm talking about like Instagram women with the seductive pictures and stuff like that. Whenever I'm doing that a lot, it's because I'm not confident enough to go out and just straight up talk to women in real life. So I'm going and gawking at women online like, oh man, this woman, this woman, this woman. And what I had to do was, I said, okay, look, I'm not gonna look at it anymore. I unfollow all those women. I changed my little, the little news feed thing on Instagram, so you can't. So I made it where I couldn't see those women. And what happened was, I started dressing better. I started going out more. I started being more sociable, so I could just talk to women like a regular person, right? That was the hole I was neglecting, right? And if I had that problem, many other men have had the same type of problem, right? And so instead of allowing myself to wallow in instant gratification of seeing a woman or liking a picture of hers or writing under her picture in this whole like fake interaction, like, oh man, I left a comment under this famous woman's picture. She might see it and she might say something back. I'm gonna actually go walk up to a woman I actually want to talk to and she can interact with me in real life. And so that's a lack of neglect, right? So I take away the lack of neglect. So now I don't need to look at women online. I can just go talk to women in real life, right? I don't have to go look at aspirational wealth things because I can just sit down and work and earn money myself. That whether it's finance, whether it's love, whether it's your spiritual life, whatever it is, if it's a part of your life that you're neglecting and you find yourself procrastinating on it, you need to go full force into removing neglect so you can feel more confident and you can take that part of social media away from yourself, And further to that, Jaimi, guys, early this year, obviously we've all been under the pandemic. We've been all sitting at home and everything. I did 60 days, no social media, no television, no radio, no music. And I got
Wow.
super productive. Okay. Because I'm not going to allow anything to be a crutch for me. I don't care for social media. I have a lot of followers on Twitter. I don't care because I am more important than that computer or that phone. And
Come
so
on.
when I did that for that 60 days, it gave me momentum to go through the rest of the year. That's what got me to Brazil again. Was sitting down and focusing and saying, okay, hold on, let me get all this together. I got my finances on, pay my debts off. I don't have debt anymore. Like when you sit down and get quiet and shut off all these distractions, that's when you can say, hold up, man, I don't make my bed in the morning. I never realized that because I'm on Instagram first thing in the morning. Or, hey, I only brush my teeth once a day. Let me brush my teeth twice a day. I only shower once a day. Let me shower twice a day. I need to get my cologne collection up. Let me do this. I need to develop a stream of income. Men, we are creators just like women are creators. But when we're sitting around not doing anything, our minds will begin to wander and do stupid stuff. Okay. And we'll fight against ourselves. So you're going to feel your best by doing things as a man and as a woman, you know?
Yeah, I'm definitely
But anyway.
inspired by that. Yeah, it's definitely for men and women, but it is, you know, important for a man to speak that to a man because, you know, men, when there's too much time, of course, an idle mind is a devil's playground, but, you know, men be playing games, flipping through stuff. You're really doing things that don't serve you. And you're men, like as a woman, we really are looking to y'all to lead in a particular way. Are we independent? Can we lead ourselves? Can we do? Sure. But there's still that innate thing where we're kind of like, okay, looking to the men, there is a leadership role. And I like how you mentioned, I like how aware you are. And I'm not sure that many people are that self-aware. So where do you think that self-awareness was born? And like, how did you cultivate that? Was it just something you were sitting one day and was like, dang, I got to change this? Or did you hear something that inspired you? Because sometimes people are not intuitive enough to know when they need to make a change.
Well, that's a great. You know what, Jaime, you got some damn good questions.
And ain't none of these on the question. I'm like, it's you. You got good
Right.
conversation.
Hey y'all, it's a little warm here in Brazil. That's why I'm kind of wiping like this. Got my pastor.
Right.
No, what I was gonna say was I read a lot. I read a lot more than average. And what I did was I look at, not only do I read books about business and things like that, I also read about and I watch people I like or that are interesting to me. And what I'm trying to find is, it's called a ghost mentor. Okay. So this could be a person that's dead or alive, but if you're watching them from afar, they can't talk back to you, right? So they are a ghost to you, but they're still mentoring you in a way. And so I was looking at like Floyd Mayweather. He's a guy I've been studying a lot in the last 2 years. Robert Peebles. No, not Robert Peebles. Peebles, he owns a lot of real estate in New York and Miami. All the black billionaires, I studied them a whole lot. And I would see some of the things they would do, like some of their little habits that they would do, like Reginald Lewis, some of the habits he did. First black billionaire, by the way, a Kappa, just so y'all know. Okay, but anyway, but my point was, okay, I'm looking for clues about success. And what I found was what most of these people did was they weren't just good at one thing. Like their whole life, they were good at a lot of different things. And so for me, it was like, oh, you read how many books a day or a week or a month? Okay, well, I'm gonna do the same thing. You read this book how many times? I'm gonna do the same thing because I'm looking for quantifiable results. So if they say, hey, make your bed every morning. Hey, you need to be brushing your teeth twice a day. Hey, you need to be getting a haircut every 10 days. Or you need to so on and so forth. I'm going to try those things in my life and see what works and what doesn't work. And so for me, I started trying these things. Like every day I made my bed, because the reason I made my bed was because for a year and a half, I was hanging out in my house all day and night. I didn't have a job. And I wouldn't make my bed because I would never get out of the bed. Right. And so me making my bed signifies to my mind that I'm not coming back here until I go to sleep. You know, and so that's my small win for every day. If I make my bed, that's my small win. No matter what, it doesn't matter if I made money that day, I won because I made my bed. You know, that signifies to me that I'm going to try for the next 12, 13, 14 hours. And so I say all that to say this, guys, is that I'm looking for ways to not neglect myself. And if I can keep doing that over time, I'm just gonna get way better. You know, and this also goes into what's called a Kaizen principle, okay? And the Kaizen principle, if any of y'all are familiar with factory work or anything like that, it is a principle of constant incremental betterment, okay? So I'm just trying to get a little better every day. I've been doing that for the last 7 years now, and my life is completely different, you know? And so that's the system behind all that.
I love it because that's a very adoptable system. You know, it's, and I'm glad you shared that and you shared it that way, because a lot of the times, and I don't want to judge anybody's upbringing. However, you know, I'm the daughter of a military man. So my dad is a 20-year retired Marine. I didn't get a chance. There were no excuses. It's like, you gonna do it. You gonna make the bed. You know, you're gonna be better. You're gonna do these things and be disciplined about it. So the answer that you just gave is something that's available to everyone, whether you grew up with a family, whether your father was in your life or not, whether you went through circumstances that I'm sure are challenging as a human, but at the same time, we're here. And I like what you said about getting better every day, because, you know, I always use the analogy of a ship. You know, if you're sailing in a direction, if you change the degree by 1 degree, by the time you get to where you're going, it's going to be a completely different location than when you started. So the small things are never the small things. They're the major things. So yes.
Because see, I think one thing we gotta understand, guys, our life is nothing but a bunch of small things put together. Okay? It's literally all a bunch. Life is all small things. There are no big things. It's all small. And like, just, I don't even remember when I wanted to go to Brazil 12 years ago when I was 20. And I wanted to come to Salvador, which is the city I live in now. And I made up all these excuses. Like, man, well, no, I'm only 20. I'm only 21. It's dangerous. I don't have enough money. And I did this for 10 years. And then one day I got back from living in Canada. I was like, I'm going to Brazil. And I bought a ticket. I bought Airbnb. And I didn't speak Portuguese at that time. And that was that. You know, but that's not a big thing. That's just another decision. It's just a small decision.
Right. It went from a plane ticket to actually getting on the plane. These are a bunch of little things that you're doing every day. But what makes it big is the way we have to overcome ourselves in the whole process, getting ourselves out the way.
Right. I had, for those of you who might follow me on Twitter, y'all probably don't follow me on Twitter, but I made a video called Your Mind is Deceiving You. And just to make it short for you all, 99% of the mind is the human mind, and 1% is you. So 99% of the human mind has been here since time started. It's been through all the wars, all the famines, all the starvations, and, you know, pandemics, epidemics, and murder, and all these bad things. So the human mind, 99% of your mind is slanted to be negative, and it is loud. Okay, but the 1%, which is you have to be constantly talking to your 99% to say, hey, look, this is not a life or death risk I'm taking. I'm just trying to be better as a person. And so that negative self-talk you hear is the human experience talking to you. Okay, hey, because remember, guys, the human mind wants comfort at all costs, and it wants to avoid risk at all costs. That's why we have reflexes. That's why we have gut feelings. That's why we have all these things we have to keep us from getting hurt and dying. And so, but the problem is when we put things in our mind and we make them big, our mind thinks like it's a real war or a real famine. And then if you don't have this job, you're going to starve to death. So it's going to scare the shit out of you so you don't do it.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's survival mode. Like, and you can't live in survival mode. There's no flow there. Nothing can pass through you if you tight like that. So I really enjoyed that. That was a great way to put it. Because I've never really thought about it like that. But we are preconditioned just because, we're human, and this is the human experience. Where if you think about animals, they get the same instinct, like to make sure they're protecting themselves, that they're not prey, that they're eating, that their babies are protected, and all of these things. So that primal instinct is low-key survival mode, but that 1% that makes up our soul, our spirit, that's why spirituality is so important. You know, even in Christianity, they say, you know, get your daily bread. Like, there's something about spirituality that knows you're going to need to pick something up every day to make sure you are headed the right direction.
No, exactly. And I'm not trying to be like self-help or nothing like that. I just don't know I don't even know the way to explain these things that you're asking.
No, but it's true. We should be about self-help because nobody's going to come and save us. So shouldn't we be focused on helping ourselves? We're all we got. Even if we want to connect with a job, a wife, this, or that, we are our own responsibility. So it could be self-help up in here.
Cool.
We got some chat. Let me look. Yes. Josiah Guerra says salute. What's up? Sunny Rose. Yes, that's genius. Our vices are about the deficiencies in our lives and character. That's true. That's why we fast, to get that stuff out of the way.
Correct.
So we can find other ways. Sunny Rose,
let me
true
find
talk.
out y'all fasting out here.
What did you say?
I said, let me find out y'all fasting. I'm a fan of fasting.
Oh, I'm a faster. Okay. I'm totally a faster. I'll do 1 to 3 days every month and a half. But when I really need to go in and break something off me, I'll do a 30 day now. I'll do 21 days. I'll do, one of the major fasts I did this year in May, I did 30 days, no food before 6, no sex or masturbation, no wine or anything to drink, anything for 30 days. And when I tell you I got the results I was looking for, it blows my mind every time.
The biggest fast I ever seen was my mom. She did like 6 days, soup only. No, and she didn't talk.
Ooh,
she didn't talk to us.
That's powerful.
She didn't talk for 60 days, and it was obviously she had to talk for work. Okay, she talked at work, but she didn't talk to us, her children, at all. For that, and this was like I was in high school. We were all at home still. And she was drinking like egg. She was drinking like egg drop soup. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my mom ain't no big woman. She's a small woman, and she was getting to the point where she would pass out sometimes. And she had did like 30 days, and then she's like, "I'm gonna do another 30 days." She did 60 days, and after that, we had more money than we had ever had. She was selling like crazy because she was in real estate at that time. She was selling a ton of real estate after that, and everything just opened up for like several years after that. It was a big experience. And I think that not only is fasting a spiritual thing, but like, guys, you're not meant to be this stimulated. Okay? Like in real life, like throughout human history, you're not meant to be stimulated as much as we currently are, whether it's through the lights, the sounds, the foods we eat, sexual stimuli. We should not be stimulated as much as we are. And so it's parts of you that's not even you. It's just what you do when you get stimulated by something.
That same reflex you were talking about, that same thing that's in there. We don't even know the difference at this point.
No, exactly. Like, but I can go in on that one, but
you could go in. That's what we're here for. We want to school the people. I love this, and I love talking to men because, again, women, the women I hang around, I know it's not all women, but a lot of us talk about this stuff all the time. We're on text about it. We're sharing books. We're sharing verses, reading. We're trying to work this thing out for ourselves so we can be in alignment with all that God has for us. So to hear a man's perspective is very important, because what I'm learning, and we all know, is like, if you're raised in a particular way, you're only given a handful of emotions to show. You're only given, you're not healing the same. It's weird, supposedly, for a man to be talking to a therapist. It's man up, do this, do that. And so it's very refreshing to just hear you speak and share your point of view, because I don't know, you're a man. It's different. It's different than me, but it's nice to know that y'all are on the same page, because if women are designed to be your helpmates, How do we do that if we don't know who you are, how you think, what you go
Right.
through, how you heal? So it's important you
Right,
could just
right.
share away.
No, you're right. I think that to go back to what I was telling you all about um, this stimuli, right? I think that there is purity in pain, and I think that men are meant to deal with pain daily, whether it's the pain of discipline, whether it's the pain of physical, physical training, spiritual training, whatever it is. I think that men need to be dealing with pain and getting calluses on some part of their life daily. Okay, because we're not all, we're not big and strong and all this just to be, clicking buttons and pushing pins and stuff, drinking beer. Like, we're meant for difficult things. And so the thing about life is either you can embrace the difficult thing or difficult things can embrace you. And so I think that you need to be doing very hard things. So your very hard thing might look a bit different from my very hard thing. My very hard thing is right now I'm living in a country where I don't speak the language. So it's me having to get out of my comfort zone and talk to people about everything and learn how to be literate again in another language and learn another culture in my 30s and dealing with a whole nother political system. All those things, it's hard. That's hard for me. But your hard might be making a bed. Are you going on a walk? It might be I'm following all them women on Instagram, like, but you need to be doing something difficult as a man because that's what makes you a man. Here's the thing, guys. Men are created. All right, we're not born, we are created, and we have to create ourselves, and we are on a continuous pursuit of creation of ourselves. And that's why that pain is going to build you into who you're really supposed to be.
Yeah, you know what? I really agree with that. And it actually reminds me of a lot of the stuff my dad taught me. And it's like, he kind of talks the same way. And of course, he had 3 girls. So he was, giving us military advice, but we came out strong. Like, okay, all right, we're good. But it's true. And I love that because hearing that kind of thing and going with that is also what made me bold. I've always known I was going to be okay. Yes, it's hard, but did you die? Like, if we're not going to max out here, then what are we doing? Like you said, we're designed to do far more than press a couple of buttons. Even women, for our side, when it comes to pain, we get heartbroken, we'll love again. We birth babies out of our vaginas, for God's sakes. Like, talk about pain.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't been there yet, but I do experience, our cycles and all that. So we all go
it looked like it hurt.
Yeah, it's it's a real roller coaster, but that's also what is beautiful about the difference. It's like we go through pain in a different way, but we're resilient in a different way, and so are you. And it's really amazing to see a man who wants to go out there and get it, because it's not easy. It's not going to be easy anyway. No. So why would you want to tiptoe around the hard things that are coming for you anyway?
Just go all the way. Just go all the way. Like, man, I tell you what, it's just what I have experienced in the last 4 years by just jumping off the edge and saying, hey, look, I'm going to really live. I'm going to live all the way. Screw it. Let's go. What I've been able to experience is just like, I see people from my hometown. What's today? It's Tuesday and it's 9 o'clock my time. So that means it's 6 o'clock Tuscaloosa time. I could go to where they are right now off the top of my head from where they were 5 years ago. I know where they physically are at right now.
Wow.
And they are there. I'm telling you what I know. Like, if I got in the car and I was in Tuscaloosa right now, it would be where they are right now. Now, I'm not saying they didn't embrace pain. I'm just saying I jumped off the deep end.
Correct.
I jumped off the deep end and said, let me prove to myself who I think I am. This is who I think I am. Let me find out.
That's good.
And so I've been finding out ever since. And now I'm just like, now I'm having this whole thing like, how far can I go? How far can I push myself? And the answer is I can push myself as far as I want to. Excuse me.
And what's powerful about that is you said that you want to prove to yourself who you think you
Yeah.
are, not to other people. Because when you're doing
No,
it
that's
for others, you get a false sense of a foundation. It's just not real. It's not authentic.
no, because see, here's the thing. When you do things for other people, or I'm gonna show them, you are living a delusion of grandeur. Okay, you believe that they are thinking about you. They're not.
Well, look at
They're thinking
that.
about them.
Right.
So now you went and did it. I showed y'all. And then this is my question. If anybody's watching this, you go out and you achieve this thing that you're gonna do because that girl broke up with you, or the wife divorced you, or mom don't love you, or whatever. And then what happens when they congratulate you? And they say, "Hey, I always believed you. I knew you could do it." You don't feel like crap because you did it out of spite. Like, see, look, I did it. And he was like, "Oh man." What if that person congratulates you? Oh, I'm so proud of you. You did it. You're gonna feel like crap, man. So don't do it for nobody else. You gotta do these things for you. Like a lot of things I won't say a lot. Basically everything I do, I'm trying to have a cool story. I'm trying to laugh when I finish. It's like, man, that was crazy. How did I get
That
out
was
of that?
nuts. Yeah, exactly.
And
Yes.
that's what I do this for. That's what I do all these things for. But
Oh my God, I love it. We have a lot more in common than I thought. Okay, so Sunny
oh
Rose
yeah,
in the chat, she said, question. So do you think success is rooted in refusing stimuli and embracing discomfort?
success is the continuous pursuit of a worthy ideal. Okay, so if that is a requirement that for you to pursue this worthy ideal that you have, if there is some stimuli that you need to stop for a bit, then yes, there's a part of success. But if it's not, and that for you and that worthy ideal that you're going after, it doesn't require you to leave the comfort of your home or change, you're successful. You did it. You don't have to do anything else. But for me, in my worthy pursuit, of my worthy ideal, it's going to require me to sacrifice some things.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I feel like there's almost no choice but to embrace discomfort because things aren't easy all the time. Like when you're doing stuff off the beaten path, you're going to run into things that you've never seen, never dealt with. And depending on the person, it might affect you or hurt you or be discomfort for you in a particular way. And there's always things on the path that you have to overcome. So, and then with the stimuli, I definitely, because I believe so much in fasting, there's got to be a moment, even people who are like serial daters. I get it. We had this whole, so I don't know if you know, but on Thursdays, I get the women panel together and we discuss everything that you discussed. So on the women's show, we were talking about how, we had some different ideas about the power of a season of singleness. And I feel like it's the same thing with the stimuli. If you're just dating from guy to guy to guy to guy, I'm not saying that you're not a lover and that might not be your life. But I am saying if it's not working out repeatedly, it might be okay to
It's you.
pull it back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think things for men, and this is about me. So we don't talk about me. My grandma told me something. She said, "Son, look, you and all my other grandsons, y'all all been blessed with a curse. Y'all been blessed with a curse of good looks. And so as a man, I have to be a little bit more disciplined than an average man because I get women that pursue me. Women pursue me. They try to talk, what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be humble with y'all. I told y'all that.
No,
so
this
I'm
is
gonna tell y'all
real.
what's really going on.
This is real.
So for me, I have to be more disciplined than the average man because these women ain't just out here for a picture. You know what I'm saying? These women want the whole nine with me. They want marriage, they want kids, they want all of it. And they want to do what they want, whatever, to get that from me. And so with that being said, there's periods of my life where I have to be completely alone. So I don't succumb to just having sex all the time and being irresponsible with my seed. You see what I'm saying? And so if you're a guy like me that's having this kind of problem, guys, you gotta just tighten up. You can't just date women at will all the time. You're gonna have to be alone for a while. And it's not, I mean, I don't think that you have to be alone to be successful. I just think you need to get centered and grounded and say, all right, this is what I want. And then say, okay, now I'm gonna go out and get what I want. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do. That's so
So
good because I do sometimes. I don't want to say I feel bad because everybody has their own show, but I do. It's challenging for good looking men. Yeah, because y'all you really do have a different beast that you have to deal with. And because you're a man and
yeah,
nature and urges and all of this stuff that we already hear, it's triple time when it's
yeah,
being thrown at you like the, what's that machine when
yeah,
you,
yeah.
when they throw in the
You
tennis
know,
balls?
right. And it's long story short, guys. You're gonna have fault. Now I'm gonna tell you this: for men, you're gonna have to have some level of sexual discipline, especially black men. We are. That is a huge stereotype that we are hypersexual, and for the most part, we prove that stereotype to be true. Unfortunately, you know. But one of the ways we got to heal our community as black men, we're gonna have to be a lot more disciplined with our seed. Okay, so it's not just about you. You gotta say, all right, look, I don't care what interaction I am with a woman with a woman, I'm gonna take responsibility for me and this woman because whatever I do, I could put a baby in this woman. So and I could change her whole life and this child's life. So I have to take responsibility and say, look, okay, this might feel good, but I'm not gonna do that with you. Okay, or it's gonna feel good, but we're gonna have to have a little more conversation. We're gonna do something before we go out here and just do that all the time. Because I played that game. I didn't have to pay the biggest price for it, but a lot of guys did. So, um, sexual discipline for men. I'm telling you, this whole Me Too movement. That's all men not having sexual discipline. All these men lost life works on being in love with their penis. Okay, and that's what we call it, y'all. These men are in love with their penis. And so they allow their penis to do all the talking, and they get in a ton of trouble because of it. They have ruined reputations forever. Uh, and you don't want that to be the case for you. Okay. So you got to really practice sexual discipline, y'all.
Yeah, I agree 1,000,000%. Very well said. I don't even need to add anything onto that. It's just the realest thing ever. And it's nice to hear again from a man. And I think it's important for the women watching, because we watching, to know that there are men out there like that. Get really caught up in, again, the media and social media and the picture that's painted and what things look like. And it'll really make
Right.
it seem like, guys don't got no sense. They running around here with it just hanging all out.
Some
They don't
don't.
get it. They don't. Some.
Yeah. Some
But
don't,
to have an example of some that think differently is like
yeah.
priceless.
Yeah. Yeah. And hey, I'm not going to, hey, look, I'm a couple seconds away from having a few kids out here. So I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I have to
But
beat
keep it
the
real.
odds.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
But I made it at 32 with no children. And however I had to do it, I don't have none. So, but the point is that you got to be disciplined. I mean, it's just, as a black man, you have a very low margin of error, and a few things are going to take you out of the game. If you're deadbeat dad, you out the game. Okay, you can get no respect from nobody ever. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. So you don't want to have that on there, and then you don't want to have a bad reputation with women where it's like, oh man, he a dog. All he do is just smash chicks all the time. You're not cool, dog. Once you get past like 18, 19, you just sleep with a whole bunch of women, and having a reputation for that ain't cool. You don't get respect for that, because at some point people want you to be a family man. Okay, society wants you to be a family man. They don't want you to be single forever. It ain't. It's weird. All right, so like you're gonna have to step up and be with somebody, But anyway,
Yeah. One of my guy friends, he's a financial advisor, and he said when he's working with his billionaire clients, the first thing they want to know is, where do you live and are you married? It's the zip code in the ring. Like, what's your stability looking like? So it is,
yeah,
I get that in other countries it might be this or that, or across the world they might be practicing this, but we live here and this is what it is.
man,
So
look, around the world, they ain't practicing all this other stuff y'all think they practicing. On top of that, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Cause I know some cats that practice polygamy. They practice having, I know one guy, I ain't gonna say his name, he's doing a pretty good job at it, but he also works really hard and he supports all his wives. They don't work. Okay. So if that's the game you're trying to play, that's how you played it. But I know some other guys that try that whole multiple partner deal. Look, man, you ain't got the money for that. All right. You don't have the money for that. It's not, pimping and all that other stuff, man. Like, you're going to have to commit to one woman for the most part because you ain't built like that. All right. Most of y'all aren't built that way to have several women and you be able to support all of them. So that's my thoughts on that. But anyway.
Yeah, and I mean that does come with it because what I'm seeing with all this talking that we did, it looks like a full plate to figure out how to support yourself and keep yourself in alignment, let alone 4 wives and some kids.
Look, but this is the thing, man. Guys that are watching this, God, having a family is more than a notion. Like where I am now at 32, and my understanding of family now, and where I was at 22, and what my understanding of family was, is completely different. Okay, if you want to have some little mediocre, run-of-the-mill, little snot-nosed family, just go out there and make you one. But if you want to have a family that's going to be prepared for success and you're going to be able to lead and they follow and they actually respect you and they like you as a father and a husband, you're going to have to put some planning and some effort in. Okay, it's some serious planning and some serious effort because this ain't easy, and this is coming from a single guy who wants that for myself. And even thinking about that, like, guys, do you have life insurance? What are your savings like? What are you going to do when you don't feel like working in 15 years? And his kids need new shoes and cars and all that stuff. Okay. There's a lot that goes into that. And that's how we get respect in society as men. Okay. The reason why society don't respect black men is because they look at our children, our wives, and the women that we with. Our kids run around here, snot nose. Our women run around here
single.
You know what I'm saying?
Baby mamas.
Every which way. How can they respect you? Okay? They can't respect you because you're not respectable. You're not moving in a respectable way. All right? But, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it just, I always use my dad as like my barometer because, I haven't always picked the cream of the crop. I haven't dated smart all the time. But what I do know in seeing an example of a man who puts effort is that it can be done. So what do you think is the driver for a man? Because I've literally heard men say, why would I get married? There's nothing in it for me. Or why would I do this just for that? Like, what do you feel like as a single man and aspiring to marry at some point? What do you feel like is the benefit beyond societal acceptance for you as a man?
I think first things first, when let's go back to what I said earlier. I'm doing these things to see what I can do. I'm going out here from my experience. What can I experience? What kind of love can I give? What kind of love can I experience from a eternal love, loving the child loving me, my own children loving me, my wife loving me loving my wife, right? That's the love of a family loving each other, right? So you get all these different types of love. I want to experience that for myself, okay? And the safest way to do that and the most stable way to do that is to get married, okay? Like that's how we're gonna do that, right? And so I want children so bad it hurts sometimes, And so the way to have children and they wake up with a smile on their face every day knowing their daddy gonna be there is by me being married. That's the benefit. I don't have to worry about, who you been with, Aisha, or Keisha, I don't have to deal with that because I am married to this person. I'm not single and I'm dating 5 and 6 different women. Like, one thing I think that I was talking to my friend about this before we got on the phone, and I was saying that there's a level of dysfunction that we have accepted in the Black community that we have to root out.
We've accepted it.
And so now up is down and down is up. And it's just like in the rules, like, hey, you Black, down is up is down. That's dysfunction. And so we have to introduce function into our communities, guys. And that's why I'm talking about that pain. Okay. It's going to be the pain of breaking dysfunction. I don't like claiming generational curses because I ain't got to claim that. So I'm not going to claim a generational curse. I just got here. I'm not claiming the curse from y'all. That's y'all curse. It ain't none of mine. You see what I'm saying?
I'm not mad at that.
But with that being said, is that, look, guys, it takes another level of discipline to break through dysfunction. All right, within interpersonal relationships, in parenthood, and all those other things. But I also think what's in it for me? Selfish. You are selfish, dog. Stay where you at. You ain't ready. You're selfish and you're scared. So that's where I go back to that neglect thing. So if you're in fear, there's something that you're neglecting. Okay, what part of it did your mama not hug you enough? Is that it? Are you scared you'll end up like your dad when he wasn't man enough to raise you? Is that it, dog? Is that how you feel? Go to therapy, get that worked out. Because again, you're gonna have to deal with this pain one way or another. I know men, Jaimi. I know men in their 50s right now that ain't married because they did the whole "what's in it for me" thing, and now they're in their 50s. They've achieved some levels of success, and they gotta call me. And I'm not their blood, but it's like, oh, hey nephew, man, I did this and this today. Dog, I don't care. You could have made a family that cared about that, but you didn't. You were scared.
You know, and that is, I think that's what hurts me as a woman. When I started King Speak, you know, I was doing you know, spiritual work with an intuitive life coach, and us women, we were doing all kinds of stuff to heal. And the men would see my page and be like, when you gonna do something for us? And I was like, oh, men want to heal, they want to talk, they care, you know.
Yeah.
And it is that I've dated guys that it's like, you're decent, but I am not equipped to carry the weight of your wounds. And I know you want to be loved, and I can't help you because of the stuff that you were just talking about.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Like, yeah, man,
it's so
hard. I know I'm talking about. I wasn't gonna talk to you about all this today. Shit. Look,
yo, ain't none of this on my thing.
Man, y'all, we gonna be talking about money. You know,
but it's so good. You know.
But so the first thing is, it goes back to the pain thing. You know, you men that are dealing with pain. Pain is meant to be felt, so you need to feel it. And it's something that came from that. You know, that something caused that pain, right? So feel the pain. Let's acknowledge the cause. Can I change this cause? Right? There's a book called The Mind at Home with Itself. I don't know if you ever read this book. And it's super duper. It's kind of weird, okay? But I'm gonna give y'all the main point. It's called The Work, okay? And so I did this because I had a problem. I didn't know I had this problem, but I had a problem, and it was a deep-seated problem. I had a problem with my mom, okay? And so, but in this problem, I'm gonna give y'all an example from the book. This is not me, okay? So in this example was a guy named John, and he thought that his mother was homophobic. He had came out as gay, and so he had talked to his mom for like 10 years. And so every time his mom would be like, "Hey, you should come home for Thanksgiving. You know, me and your dad miss you," he would, you know, spaz out on his mom and be like, "You being wild homophobic right now." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" Right? And so anyway, John goes to the therapist, and that's who's the author of the book. And he tells, "Hey, my mom's being homophobic." And so the woman says, "Is it absolutely true your mother was being homophobic?" And so he was like, "Well, I don't know. So tell me a situation." She was like, "Well, my mother's asking me to come home." And so She was like, well, that ain't homophobic. He's like, well, no, well, it's because my dad wanted to see me. She's like, well, your dad wanted to see you. Is that homophobic? And so they keep on going. And he actually had a misunderstanding. He believed his mother was judging him, but it was actually him judging himself with his mother's eyes, right? So his mother actually never did anything wrong. So what point of the work is your side, is the other person's side, and it's the truth in the middle. And so we're trying to find what the truth is. So let's go back and look at this pain point, this problem that you have, guys and ladies and gentlemen. If you listen to this now on replay, this is a rhetorical question. You don't have to write this down. Let's think about an interpersonal problem that you have with somebody that could be dead or alive. Is it absolutely true, the problem that you have with a person? Okay. That's the first question we have to answer. Because once we find out is it absolutely true, they feel that way about you, or you feel that way about them, or what they said was absolutely true, or what you think is absolutely true, more than likely it's false. And once we find out that's false, we can begin to pull away from that pain that we have. Okay? Because the cause of our pain oftentimes is us and our perception. Okay? So
True.
Anyway, A Mind at Home with Itself. Read the book, guys. Get the book on audiobook. Matter of fact, I'm going to show it to you because I want y'all to
I'm down. I'm
reference
always
point.
down for a new book, you know? Thank you, Sunny
Where
Rose,
is
for
it
putting
at?
that in the chat so people can.
This is, I'm going to just show y'all a screenshot just so y'all can hop in. I got the audiobook version. But this is it right here. A Mind at Home with Itself by Byron Katie. How asking 4 questions. These 4 questions is what I'm talking about. Is it absolutely true? But I mean, we'll give y'all the whole plot of the book, but that's really it, right? And so when we ask and answer these questions, we get to the root of some long-held pain points in our life. Okay? I did this. I was listening to the book and I answered the questions to myself. I was at work and I was crying at work. I was crying because I had held on to, I was holding on to this pain, and it was all because of because I just perceived something the wrong way. And so I had been treating my mother badly for 10 years, thinking that she was against me. My mom was never against me. I'm not gay, guys. I'm not the guy in the thing. I had another problem. Another problem I'm on. But it turns out it was a me thing. It wasn't even her. It was me. And so as we go through and look at these things, guys, like, you know, all of us, this is not a man thing. This is a human experience thing, guys.
Correct.
We are perceiving things incorrectly. And that's why a lot of our pain comes from. Okay.
It's so true.
So get the book.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get the book. And this is why, you know, I love self-mastery, because you're only going to discover and uncover this stuff if you're willing to look at yourself. The answer is not outside of you. And it's like, how far are you willing to go? How deep are you willing to dig to figure out what's going on?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's, you know, guys, I have lived in 12 cities, 3 countries, and worked everywhere. And I'm going to tell you something. Wherever you go, there you are. All right. So you're gonna have to figure out these problems that you got. Okay. Well, all these problems that you think you have, and some of these problems that you don't know you have. All right. You're gonna have to figure them out for you. And nobody else is gonna be able to do it for you. You know, no matter where you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with that 1,000,000%. It just makes sense. I'll never stop digging and looking for the answers, especially when I feel fun. If you are getting an intuition or a pain point or a moment, that is something internal to deal with. That is a red flag or a signal to you. And I just think, you know, especially these days, too often we're looking to the outside world to fix it, heal it. Like, you know, I even definitely don't want to talk about politics, but it's just kind of like, you know, we're always looking for something or someone to blame. Now that shifted, what you gonna blame now? You know what I'm saying? We gotta just really do the work for ourselves. None of this is on the outside.
No. And I think as men, it's interesting because you would think men would be doing this more than women would, right? But that's where it's a lot. That's just a lot of neglect. It's just a whole lot of neglect, and that's why men aren't doing the things they need to do. They're not becoming the man they need to be.
Do you think society plays a part in that? Because to me, it really is. Again, we get marketing and messaging all the time to ourselves, so we're influenced by it. Do you think society is part of the reason why men are not stepping up in the same way to be men, because we haven't created the space or the allowance for men to show up as humans? We've kind of constructed what a man's supposed to look like, and we've left a bunch of things out, which created a bunch of holes, which in turn created even more holes, like not only within the people, but within the family structure. What do you think is the thing that makes it challenging for men to be tapping in this way? What's the barrier?
Well, I think that I'm gonna call it a Homer Simpson effect. So this is this idea that the man is just a consumer. He doesn't have to be responsible for anything. He's basically the other child in the house, and it's okay. That whole idea has been pushed over the last about 40 years. Y'all remember Married with Children? You remember that one?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Bundy.
like that whole dumb, that whole dumb husband
Scratching his balls, drinking his beer.
That whole thing has been pushed in society for the last almost 40 years now. Well, art imitates life. So, man, not just black man, but man in America abdicated his role in leadership and got in the back seat. And so what happened was man has been taking a ride for the last 4 decades. And I think we're at a point now of like mass infantilization of man. And for black men, I think we've reached a point of fatalism where we think that, well, it just ain't getting no better than this. Well, it's not worth doing anything. And it's a number of reasons for that. And all just watching TV. It's, we got policing and school prison pipeline, blah, 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 blah. But we are at a point in Western society where men have abdicated trying to lead themselves, trying to lead others, and improving in any way past putting a clean shirt on. That's from what I see. From what I see in my travels and being able to see many different types of men, talking to many different types of men over the years on social media and things like that. It's just, I think that for whatever reason, men have not bought into improving past 17 years old. Like, there are 17-year-olds for the next 50 years,
Gosh, that's insane. And when you say that, I just want to know your opinion, but what do you think that does to the women in the community or wherever, in the empire?
Masculinizes women. It puts women way out of their spectrum of abilities. I think that a lot of, when men don't do what they need to do, women have to do what men do, right? And I'm speaking on this, guy. I'm not talking about jobs. I ain't talking about, education or anything like that. What I'm saying is, when you have men who don't want to do the hard thing of making themselves better, then a woman has to overcompensate. She got to be better for you and for her. Okay. And then how am I supposed to be better for both of us?
That just made me tired thinking about it.
Like my daddy say, like, he's talking about a man, right? My dad would say, like, carrying 180 pounds for the next 4 years, that's pretty hard. And these women have to carry these men for marriage. You carrying these men children for a lifetime. They get tired real quick, and so a lot of them are checking out. But what does that really mean? That means that these men are taking the joy of life out of their own manhood and the women they interact with. So you're taking, by when men bring themselves down, it takes the collective down. You know, it's a bunch of single women running around here right now that if men were doing what they need to do as men for themselves, not for women, they're doing these things for themselves, these women would be happily married with children running around. But because you chose to be lazy and neglectful, now both y'all are sad. You
And it's the
understand?
truth. That's what's happening out here. I talk to men and women, and
No.
people are hurting, and it hurts me because it's like, why can't we just do the work? Because it's equally as hard to get to 45, 50, 55 and be completely alone. Honey, you just heated up a TV dinner and you are sitting there calling your 30-something-year-old friends to tell them about you don't have no woman loving on you, and you don't, but you have the audacity to be that old head telling young dudes about the ball and chain and what don't work about marriage.
No, I ain't trying to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing from no bitter old man. Okay, ain't nothing a bitter old man can tell me. You know, you're a loser. That's what you are. You're a loser. But hey, you know, but my point is though, the adverse of that, the flip side of this, guys, is that if you become who you're supposed to be, you have a whole group of people who can be happy and loved because of you. Okay, because your actions, you can build out that home structure, and for a woman to be in, and for these children to be in safely and securely, and they can grow up and be contributing members of society. But when you tuck your tail and poke your lip out and say, well, what's it with me, man? You're just another bitter dude. You're just a bitter guy, and you're going to be bitter forever alone. All right? And that's not cool. Anyway.
Yes, it's not cool. It doesn't feel good, and it's still hard. So you might as well just go and
and
do the
it's
hard
still
stuff.
so hard. It's still so hard. What else you got? What else you got for me, Jaimi?
Well, I mean, so I do have something else. So with you being able to break down what is missing in men so much, what advice can you give women on how to vet dudes and how to see this brokenness up front or the laziness up front? Because I think that women, we want to be with y'all so bad. And don't worry, I got a power of posture, a whole e-course I wrote for the women. So we gonna get it together about how not to be desperate, how to walk and operate in our power and our confidence, because we need to match you being whole. But for those of us who get confused about how to vet a man, he seems good, it seems like it might be whatever. What would you say are the obvious red flags, and if you were going to give advice to women and when it comes to vetting a man?
Okay, so I have two sisters, and they both got married in their 20s. So I was able to help them vet their now husbands. And one thing I really stressed from my sisters and my current brother-in-law, and I told them to their faces. Well, I told one to their faces, another one I didn't have to. But I think that, a 16-year-old has potential. A 32-year-old has kinetic energy. Okay. So potential is we up here. Kinetic is we doing stuff. So we talk about potential. Potential is here. We haven't done anything. We're at the top of the hill and we're waiting to roll down the hill. You need to be looking at what has been done. All right. If a man is over 25, he should have done something. Okay. If he can't explain his 20s, his 30s, his 40s, whatever age you're dating him in, if he can't explain a decade of his life in the high points, he ain't gonna do nothing in the next decade. Okay? So you need to listen. You need to listen very closely to what these people say. You don't have to do the whole Steve Harvey 90-day thing, but you need to understand. So because men like to tell women their accomplishments. That's part of masculinity, that's part of manhood. If you're around a guy that's winning, he's gonna tell you about the last time you won. Hey, I'm working on this. I got this going on. I'm about to do this. And, last 6 months I was doing this. And during the pandemic, I killed it. That's a guy that's got kinetic energy. He's got momentum. And I hope I'm using the right scientific term, kinetic energy. Yeah, momentum. You want men with momentum, ladies. You don't want men that are right here. You want men that's moving, all right? And they're gonna tell you they're moving by their actions. Next thing I would say in regards to men is that you need a man that is leading himself. Okay, it's gonna be easy for him to lead you if he's leading himself. What does a man that's leading himself look like? He's not gonna be one to succumb to vices easily. Okay, if you see him watching porn a lot, if you see him smoking a lot, drinking a lot, any of those things on the extreme level, watch yourself. All right, because you in deep waters, and you need to get up out of there. So men who can't control vices. Okay. The next thing, well, I said leading, and then I said they need to have some momentum, right?
Momentum, controlling their vices.
And they gotta have some character. Look at the other men around them, okay? Like, because the men that are around him are actually him. So, you know, his real close friends, how are they? Are they married? You know, are they successful? Are they bumming him for money? Are they bumming you for money? Like, you need to be looking at his friends, okay? All the friends don't have to be rich or, you know, all look good or whatever, but they need to all have a common string through them. And if there's a bunch of bad common strings, he's bad too, okay? Again, ladies, y'all got Instagram. Just go look at the guy's freaking Instagram.
It's so
He said, John,
simple.
that's John, your best friend? Oh, for real? Hold on. You go look at what John doing, right? Like these are simple things, and you can vet a guy in 15 minutes. All right, bam. Because men on Instagram, they're gonna show you what they do, and if you listen to them long enough, they're gonna tell you what they do. But it's up to y'all to listen. You gotta listen because everybody, if they talk long enough, gonna repeat themselves. Okay,
That is
so you
true.
just big eyes, big ears, little mouth. Okay, and and the other thing is, it's just small things. Then just like like hygiene and how does he keep his house and all that stuff. Like you just want to see those little things. How does he react to? How does he treat waiters? You know, but that's for everybody. How you treat the people who are serving you, because at some level you're gonna be serving this man at some point. And is he lording over the people that are serving him? Is he, you know, you got to pay attention. And then you want to pay attention to this guy. How do he handle tense moments in his life? Does he fold? Does he start getting super emotional? Does he have to lean on you emotionally for hard and difficult times? This thing you need to pay attention to. Like I told you, a 200-pound man is a heavy person to carry for 40 years.
I'm telling you, every time you say that, I could feel it in my whole spirit. Like it makes me tired.
I'm trying to
Every
tell
time
you.
you say that, I'm like,
Yeah. So, that's what I tell my sisters, my two sisters. That's what I would tell them. And, it's up to you. But, for ladies, also I'll tell y'all. I can tell y'all a bunch of easy stuff y'all already know, but
that's great.
Those are my main ones,
That is great advice. Like, I really, I appreciate that. And I definitely think, when women aren't operating out of desperation or a need to be with someone, we can get sober minded and patient and take the time to actually, kind of look all around and through this man and see what's really going on before we dive in. I know that that's something that I would have tried to teach myself when I was younger, because I was just like, oh, he's fine. I'm fine. We together. We get along. He's my husband.
Now,
let's go.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. Ladies. Look, you come over here.
Where you
put this?
What to
How
Brazil?
I put this?
Brazil?
No. Come down here. But it's a cool place. Come down here. You enjoy American Black women. I know a bunch of them that live here full time, and they have a great experience here. Black women are edified in a much different way. You'll see them in art here a lot. They're in graffiti. They're everywhere. You see dark women in afros painted everywhere around the city. So it's a really interesting experience here in Salvador. But what I was going to say was, women, when you judge men on looks, you're not judging the right way. Okay, Because if you judge me for my looks and you skip over all these other things that I've done and accomplished, I'm going to use you for your body and I'm going to forget about you. Okay? Because you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. So if you run behind these men for their body or for their face or whatever, you're going to get that and nothing else. Okay?
Yep.
And you do that a few too many times, you might have some good looking kids, but you ain't gonna have no dad to go with that. You know what I'm saying? So you really want to use a different type of what's the word?
Like
a different type of
barometer.
measure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a different barometer, right? And that's what I'm saying. You want to be dealing with men who have accomplished something in their lives. Okay, they have to have accomplished something and trying to accomplish something else. I'm not saying they gotta be rich. They need to be doing something and wanting to do something more. Okay. Again, they gotta be able to lead themselves. Are they leading? Are they being disciplined? Do you wake up before this guy? I'm gonna tell you, that's a big one, ladies. Let me tell you something. If you want to know if you want to run a relationship, women, all y'all women watching this, and I don't care what none of y'all men got to say. If a woman wakes up before you, and we're gonna skip the days everybody at work. When y'all are both at home and she wake up before you every time, she run a relationship, not you. There's just different rules. All right. She sets the tone for the day every day. That means she runs the relationship, not you. All right.
Wow.
So if you sleeping in the bed with a woman, you need to be getting up before she do. I don't care if you get up, you get some coffee, and you go back to sleep. Cool, but you don't need to be going. She don't need to be waking up before you. But
I mean, I don't mind that because it's like, you know, I know women who get very agitated. You almost lose respect a little bit where it's like, you sleep? Like, I'm up working. Like, you get your
what
beauty
you mean you
sleep?
Like, you a man laying in the bed. It's automatic.
With your beautiful brown eyes just closed. What?
Yeah, this dude laying all in the bed. Now, it'd be different. Like, you out here grinding. You know what I'm saying? You work 70, 80 hours like your boy. I put up big boy hours. I work a lot.
You do.
So yeah. My sleep, when I'm sleeping because I put the effort in. You know, but you don't need to be stalled. If it's 5:36, 7 o'clock, you need to be up. You know, you gotta be up, man. Them the rules. I didn't make them. They just how it works. The best of us wake up, you know. But anyway,
it's really good that you put that out there. It's really good that you put that out there.
I'm trying to help y'all out. Y'all get y'all lazy than y'all want to. And you be mad at me when I told you don't be getting one of these men who be laid up in the bed all night and all day. But
9:30,
whatever.
You got up, sent your emails, and he sleep. His little eyes is closed. Okay, yeah, now.
Look, I woke up. My dad would wake up at like 4 o'clock. My dad woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. My mom would wake up at like 9:30. My dad be there made breakfast for us, and he ain't had no time to make breakfast for my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was up so much earlier than she was.
It's amazing.
But you're clearly leading the relationship if you saying, "Hey, breakfast is ready. Come down."
You're
hey, I
already
got kids ready. Hey, I did this already. Hey, I did this already. Hey, I already worked for the day. You ain't got to tell me what to. I think you need to work a little harder, Steve, because we need this and that. No. Look, I already been working. I've been working 3 hours. You was asleep.
And we're not equipped to carry you that way. We're not equipped to do that for you. When dudes is like, women are crazy or she's this and she's that, it's because there's something about you that's out of line. And now she's acting out of line in reaction to what you put on the table. And we get caught up in stand by your man, be a ride or die, and all of this stuff that don't make no sense when a man is not being a man. You know, there's this book, maybe you might want to add this to your book just if you want to have some fun reading, but it's called Male versus Man by Dondre Whitfield. And he breaks down, he says that to women, the first thing a male, because just because you're tall with a beard and some muscles, and that doesn't make you a man. You're a male. That's the species that you get. That's what it is. But a male is looking to be served. A man is looking to serve. When I meet men who want to serve, Yeah, the woman in me opens up. I have so much more to offer.
Right.
I know exactly how to help you out, where to fill in. Like
Right.
that natural order does give women the real space to function as a woman. And we are the multipliers. So it's like,
Right. Well,
yeah.
I will say this. I think that in my when I got my finances in order, I found that I was able to be more who I really am. Because obviously, guys, you 22, 23, you broke. Okay, that's just them the rules.
I
All right, you're
wasn't.
not going to be making.
Look, I wasn't. But that was a different
Oh, I
time.
forgot you was selling houses, right? Back
Yeah, I was
then.
savage. I sold my
Yeah,
first house when I was
yeah.
19. I wasn't playing around.
hmm I sold my first house at 20, but hey, but
You know, apples and oranges.
but right. I couldn't, we couldn't get licensed until we were 19 in state Alabama. That's what it
Okay.
was. Yeah. So for
Cali is
everybody
like,
else,
you
let's say it
18
was
here.
18.
Right.
Right. Let's go. So, but the point I was trying to make was that once I was able to, get myself financially in order, and able to do the things I wanted to do with women and for women, I found that how I was treated in relationships was completely different. You know,
How you were
uh,
treated in the relationship.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, it's coming from being a young man, so being, more in my 20s and my 30s, but like, look, I was talking with my line brother the other day. Start paying all the bills and see what happens. All right, just see what happens. You start paying all them bills, and then you'll start seeing the kind of cooperation. Because I think submission is too easy of a word to use. Cooperation is a much more explanatory word. You start paying bills.
Honey, babe, let me tell you something. Your whole
Look,
life finna look different.
look at
Period.
y'all
Guaranteed.
ain't hear
That's
me.
facts.
Y'all ain't hear me. Y'all ain't hear me. And that takes a level of my little AirPods are dying, so I gotta find where my little case at. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So, but but that's just another level of stepping up, right? And that takes, and I know some of you guys, man, that's simple, man. Look, I live in abundance. Okay, I live in
Come
abundance
on.
in all ways. So I have enough. I have more than enough for me and whoever else that I want with me, right? And so, I had to wish and hope to get to the level. I had to work to get here. But with that being said, it has garnered me a level of respect that I did not have in my past relationships prior to me serving, like you're talking about, right? Like my dad, he was cooking breakfast, washing the clothes, ironing clothes, and he had a full-time business, and he's a pastor, right? But my mama wasn't around here yelling at my dad, talking trash about him. She didn't say
Ain't
anything
nothing to
negative
yell
about my
about.
dad ever. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I wish your dad would just take the trash out sometime. What's she finna say that for? He taking care of everything. My dad handling all the business around the house, and he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's my point to men is like, look, if you want respect, go get it, but there is a price. Okay, there is sacrifices that are gonna have to be made on your behalf to get what it is you want. Okay, because you want this unconditional love like a child. You want mother-child love. Okay, and you're not gonna get it. Okay, so you're gonna have to earn everything you get. And how you're gonna get that is by making the sacrifices. All right. And so as you go through these things and start making the sacrifices, you see what I'm talking about.
It's very true.
You
And as
know?
women, we know the difference. We can feel it. And like you said, I like cooperation. It's a very active word. I like submission too, though. It's just I'm the
Yeah,
type
that's
of
cool.
person when I read, I gotta look at the dictionary because people be taking the
Right.
word and be wanting to do their own thing with it. But I don't mind, and most women don't, I would say, the natural order of things. I feel like the women who are
Right.
around here screaming independent women is because they didn't have too much on their back. They didn't carry a man too long. They've been abandoned. They vetted poorly. And that's maybe not all, but that's some
Right.
anger and bitterness, like there does come a point where you got to stand up and be like, I got this on my own. Like me and my girls, we used to joke, be like, got to pull my balls out my purse and go ahead and handle this because it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
ain't nobody like, girl,
Yeah.
we got to, you know? So it's like when a man
No,
is
yeah,
a
I understand.
man, there are so many other colors and nuances that we have that
Mhm.
some of us haven't even seen because we've not even been able to relax that damn long.
You know, I would say to not to change the subject that much, but and Jamie, you know I talked about this because you remember when I first came to Brazil and I was talking a bunch of shit when I first got
You
here.
wild. I love it.
But what I would say to, cause I'll talk about men need to come here, but I think Black women need to come here specifically because it's some things that Black women here. I'm talking about Black women that look like you. I ain't talking about, you know, a bunch of mulattoes. I'm talking about Black women who look like Black women down the street. So, but the point I'm making is that there's a level of inherent femininity and masculinity being here that makes you fall into roles much easier than you would at home in the States, you know. And that's what I've seen from I'm talking about the Black American women I know here. I ain't talking about tourists. I'm talking about the ones who live here. Seeing women from New York, seeing women from California, just they just go into wearing dresses all the time and just doing this whole like it's a real interesting experience to see the level of femininity these women have. But with that being said, I think that you need to waste that on everybody. But I also believe that there are men who want to be masculine all the way, so don't know how to do it yet, and they don't know if it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just don't know if it's okay yet. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where they have to get some tutelage from other men who've been where they're trying to go. And you gotta, it ain't all gonna be this peaches and cream guy. Like, you gotta tell these women, like, Steve, I think, you know, both of us should be making decisions in a relationship. No, it ain't gonna be
Wait, what
both of
did
us
you
making
say
decisions in a
about? Oh,
relationship.
both of you. Yeah.
No, both of us are not making decisions. I'm making decisions. I might talk to you, we can consult about some stuff. I'm making decisions.
Cool.
All right.
Because
But
the thing
see,
is when
but
you're the
like,
right type of woman, you influence the decisions whether he knows you're doing it
and
or
that's the
not.
point, right? But that's the point, right? But we not gonna be sitting here debating everything, right? And that's what I'm talking about. That's what cooperation. We are
Correct.
cooperating.
Correct.
And that's my point. And it's like, and that's a problem in the West. And it's not just a white guy thing or a black guy thing. It's just a Western man thing where these men want this, but they don't want to hurt your feelings or offend you, or they don't feel like they're empowered to just be like, nah, not nah like that, like no, but just saying like, look, no, I'm gonna make decisions about this because maybe they don't feel like they're smart enough or they're scared of making the wrong decision. But that's where you gotta get rid of that neglect beforehand. Or if you're in a relationship, you gotta get rid of neglect now while you're in a relationship, so you can say confidently, because I saw some guys on this podcast, and I'm not gonna talk about their podcast because it's super whack. All the motherfuckers on there weak. I don't like none of the shit they say. But what the guys were saying was that, well, I don't want to make decisions in a relationship because I don't want to be responsible if I make the wrong decision. Child. That's what children do.
That's
You see,
not how
am I
things
right?
get done at all. Yeah.
Well, she made decisions because I don't want to be blamed. Man, blame.
Sir. That's like a little teeny
This
tiny
is
scratch.
come on,
You're a
and
whole
so
man.
a grown man, okay, and
And he was
so
serious, and that's the thing that's scary. Where
you
is this
saw it too,
coming
didn't you? You
from?
know what I'm talking about?
I didn't
You
see
saw
it,
what
but
I'm
I
talking
kind
about?
of low key have a feel. I've then come across.
You know what I'm
There's a
talking
few
about.
brothers on the
You know what I'm talking
podcast,
about.
and I seen some stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's probably
them.
the same
That's
one.
them. And they wrong. All y'all wrong.
They
You watch this, y'all
wrong.
boys is wrong. Y'all wrong, man. You're running.
Stop telling people this
You're
stuff.
running. You're running from what manhood is. Do you know the level of man you came from just 2 generations back? Let's just take it back to the
Two.
40s.
Let's just go
You talking
two.
about I'm one generation removed. My dad's 67. When my dad was in his 20s, they still call black men all out their name. You know what I'm saying? All in
Correct.
public with it. Work. And they had to come
Correct.
home and then raise a family, right? If you go back one more generation, we talking about the 1920s, the 1930s and 40s. What them black men had to endure and then come home and raise some kids. We talking about
Oh, so you
abject
could be
poverty
here?
for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking about, oh, man, I don't want to make no decisions. I might get blamed. What? We ain't talking about peeing in the bed. We talking about life. Hey, they gonna blame me for this, man. Man, you know going on.
Dang, that is it's
You
true,
feel
and
me,
it's just
Jaimi?
so hilarious. That cracks me up because it's so true. I don't even know what to do with myself. Oh my god. Sunny Rose in the
But
comments said, Stephen, you should do an online training for men and a travel to Brazil e-course for Black women. Just saying.
hey, come on. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all. First thing you need to do, you're gonna come down here. I'm gonna tell you something interesting about Brazil.
Yep.
So down here they have the curl pattern, the number and the letter on the hair product. So like
Oh,
this
that's
is better for
amazing.
4C. This is
4C,
for 3.
yeah.
Yeah, they got all that because humble brag, not humble brag. I'm just gonna brag. I flew my sister and brother-in-law down here to stay with me for 10 days when I first got to Brazil. Like they came down here a month ago, so I flew them down here, bought the tickets and everything. They hung out with me, but my sister was buying all these hair care products, and like the hair care products here are much better for Black people than they are in the States. Like like
Mm.
like light years better for your hair. They hold moisture way better. So, ladies, y'all need me to send y'all anything from Brazil. I got you.
Look, you better stop playing.
I'm
I'm
ready
about to
to
come
stop.
visit. I'm gonna bring a little
Look,
extra bag for my hair care product. Like I
look.
might be out
I'm
there.
telling you what I know. I'm telling you what
Mm.
I know. Okay, my sister, her hair is a little different than mine, but the stuff that she was called Afro Vegan Curl, and it
Okay.
was just like this. She is held a ton of moisture. Her curls are super defined. Uh, just it's amazing. Amazing products. Y'all gotta try. They smell great. They're not expensive. Yeah. So
I
that's
love
that. But
it.
no,
It's
but I
all
would
the little
also
things,
say,
but it makes you feel seen.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like they do afros out here. Afros, box braids, and they'll do some like, some design braids every once in a while, but they do a lot of box braids here. And all the women got afros.
I
It's
love
just like the
it.
thing. All of
It's too hot
them
out
got
there to be
froze.
doing
Like,
anything else. Yeah.
yeah, you're not finna straighten your hair out here. Like, it's dead. It's too humid. They just rock real big froze. Like the froze be like all in their face with it like this. Like they froze in my
Blowing in the
hair and
wind.
they just
Yeah, dancing.
they do that whole thing. It's super popular, but I would say to men, like, you need to take a holistic approach to who you are. You are a body, soul, and a mind, right? And you need to make sure all three of those things are really. And this is a book I'm going to show y'all too. Hold on.
Oh yes,
This
please.
this book this book has been a big book for me. This book was a book that my dad read all through his 30s and 40s, 50s. This book right here. This right here,
The Tao
Tao of Health,
of
Sex,
Health, Sex.
and Longevity. This book, I'm telling you, this is gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow
Wow.
your mind. Women can read this as well. It's not just for men. But the way it explains the approach to sex,
Mm.
the way that it explains the approach to breathing, eating, fasting, nutrition, uh, stretching, all these different things. It's just And if y'all don't understand Taoism, never heard of Taoism,
The way the
it's
Tao, I
key,
love
but
it.
yeah, but it's moderation. Okay,
Yeah.
moderation is key to everything. Right. So we don't want to be in excess of anything that we do. And so I started reading this book probably 12 years ago, something like that. And it's just been the things that's guided me over the years. And I'm gonna keep talking about this because it's super important, guys. The sexual discipline. All right, you can't learn to keep your hands to yourself and away from and off of yourself. If you can't learn to keep yourself to yourself and not in somebody else, if you can't seriously learn that, you're gonna have problems in this life.
You're gonna have problems. Like now that I'm a little bit more seasoned in my vetting process, I definitely look for that
Mm-hmm.
because, I'm dating for marriage these days. I don't need to be a girlfriend for
Right.
5 years, did that already.
No.
So it's just
No.
like, yeah, no. What I want to see a man who's coming to my table with his own values, his own personal codes and principles, because I'm telling you now, I do not have the energy to raise a grown man. I completely misunderstood my position in my early years. I thought I didn't
Yeah.
understand what a helpmate was. I didn't understand how to look and how to vet. And when you are a woman pouring into a bucket with a hole in it, it really leaves you depleted in a way where you almost don't even want to get back up. You don't want to get back in the game. You don't want
Yeah.
nothing to do with like men just start to look, so before it goes that far, I definitely look for someone, because of course it was in The Wait with Devon Franklin and Megan Good. And I'm not saying you have to be a super duper Christian or don't have sex before marriage. I'm not going to
Right.
put any tight restraints on sex because I'm not even going to front like I've lived that life. But it's just like, if he doesn't have the discipline, I'm not going to be barking at this man about what he needs to be doing. Or if I'm pregnant, and it might be some weeks, bro. It might be some weeks. I don't know. But in that moment, do you have your own modalities and your own anchors to go to that are going to help you get through when things are hard for you? If I'm sitting up here pregnant, we can't have sex, but you want sex, do you have your own devices to lean on to say, all right, let me just one more week, maybe? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to have time to carry you, carry me, carry the baby, carry the house. Like, you're going to have your own grit with this thing. And it comes from practice. So you're going to have to be practicing it at some point. Oh, wait, you're muted. You muted yourself. There we go.
It muted when I switched my AirPods.
Oh, my bad.
I was talking about helpmate. And helpmate help somebody that's doing something.
That's my
Okay.
only thing. If you don't know what your purpose is and you ain't moving, I don't know how I can help you. Man.
If you and all right, and so that's what it goes back into, like how we get people into their roles, right? Like as a man, like for example, for me, right, I'm already working 60 hours a week. It is clearly defined how you help a guy who's working 60 hours a week. It's not a lot of moving puzzles. You need to make sure he is fed and his place is in order. Okay. And when he ready to have fun and go do stuff.
You ready?
That's it.
That's it. It's so simple.
Super simple, right? But when I'm doing, well, baby, I'm working part-time over here, but I'm trying to get this to work. How the hell am I supposed to help you? There's a lot of moving parts in this. When you start talking about somebody who's not doing what they need to do, and guys, if you feel some kind of way because I'm talking about you, I hope you feel bad, you change. Okay. This ain't meant for you to feel good. If you work 15, 20 hours a week, guys, I don't care if it's a pandemic. I don't care if we in an economic boom. You need to do something. All right. And if you don't know what to do, guys, follow my Twitter. It's Stephen Storey, because I talk a lot about money and I talk about how to make money. I retweet things on making money. All right. But unfortunately, if you're American, you live in a capitalist country, and so you are going to be defined by a capitalist standard. Okay. So it's going to be your ability to acquire resources. So if you can't do that, you're a misfit. All right. And you're not ready to do what's necessary to raise a family. But that's what I think about that.
And women, it's up to us to recognize that, because we can't be sowing and pouring into men like that and depleting our energy and taking away from the man who really is ready and available to receive,
Yeah.
you know, what we do have to offer. So, I mean,
Well,
I completely.
it was something my mom used to tell me. She said, son, a man is supposed to mold a woman, and a woman is supposed to support a man. So as one is molding, the other supporting. I mean, obviously, that's clearly you're cooperating through that, okay?
Of
But
course.
as you're molding and supporting, y'all are making something of yourselves together. You're making a unit, right?
Yep.
But this whole like pouring into thing, like I do the pouring. I'm here, like I have a ready-made vision. All right. Now I know it ain't a lot of me, but I have a ready-made vision. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you reach your potential because I know how to reach my potential. So look, we here and we're gonna get you where you're trying to go. And if you're not there yet, guys, you got some work to do. Okay. Everybody ain't gotta have my personality, but I do know that most men who are successful in a relationship, like Jaimi said, they're gonna have some standards that they put in place, not a woman. Okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't work like that. And I love the being let the man mold you and a woman support, because you know, even with that, it still speaks to, it gives us as women an opportunity to remember not our place, but just the divine femininity within us. Because in order to be
Mm-hmm.
moldable, you got to be malleable. There's got to be some water in that clay
You
so
gotta
he can
be soft.
actually
You
work
gotta
with
be
it.
soft.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on
Yeah.
now.
So it's
You gotta
definitely
be
a
soft a little bit.
reminder. You got to be soft a little bit. And I do think a lot of us have, you know, we have it innately, but then, like I said, you know, we deal with certain people or things
You get
go
hard.
wrong and it gets funny and we get hard because we just feel like it's us against the world. And it's really the worst, most heaviest feeling for a woman. So even if you have gone through things like that, I always encourage women, yeah, we got to stay soft and remain, you know, even if it's
Yeah.
us putting our whole trust in God too helps too, because it's like, I don't know how whatever's going to happen and this, that, and the other, but if I can trust in the divine, like lean on whatever you got to lean on to remain feminine, to remain soft, because you know, I don't know everything about all men, whatever, but I don't know how much men can do with a hard woman. So,
Get away from them. Ain't no,
right,
only
they
thing
be
a hard
wanting to
woman can do for
run.
me. Only thing a hard woman can do for me is point me to a soft one because I ain't got nothing for you.
It's the
And
reality.
it's so crazy to me because like, when I was going through my 20s, I was seeing girls that was hard at 22, 23, they was hard already. And I'm like,
But they was probably raising
who?
their brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? They probably
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
show up in a way that was outside of
yeah,
their
yeah.
scope.
But a hard woman, you can spot a hard woman, like, they stick out like sore thumbs, like, and that's why I be telling y'all need to, some Black American women need to come on down, get soft
Girls trip.
again, come on down to
We gonna
Brazil,
get
come
our
get
hair
soft
together, you
because
all. We gonna
yes, for
put our
real, like
dresses
come
on,
down
go to the
here
beach.
and go dance, like because I think one thing that women really do a good job over here, and I'm not going to tell y'all the Brazilian men are just some nice dudes. These dudes are terrible. You know what I'm saying? They got crazy high femicide rates. Like
Oh
their
my
rate of
God.
killing women is way higher than American women. Like it's
That's
like
insane.
insane. It's insanely high. Like I'm talking about like insane
A
levels.
sport,
Uh,
like it's a
and
sport.
then right, and like I'm not gonna get into it, but it's bad.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
crazy.
domestic violence rates are crazy high too. Now, with
Hmm.
that being said, from and this ain't no pat on the back for Brazilian women because that's hard. You know what I'm saying? These men are killing women and all that stuff. But these women have found a way to hold on to their femininity.
Mm.
Uh, they don't. I don't see them just scowling everywhere they go and you know being like when a guy might say something to him, I say hey to him or something like that. Don't you know him? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see that
Right.
like I see at home, and I'm like, clearly domestic violence happens at home, all these bad things men do to women, it happens at home just like it happens here. But I'm like, they're clearly doing something different. The women, not the men. I'm
Interesting.
talking about the women are doing something
Right.
different. They're handling this a bit different. And I think that what better way to push back on, hey, look, I don't give a damn what y'all do to me. You're not gonna take this from me. You're not taking my femininity from me. I'm still gonna be this. I'm gonna be soft. Y'all gonna make me hard. Like, no, man, because like that's how I would feel like as a man. You're not gonna make me soft. Shit, I don't care what happened. I'm gonna be a man
There you
all the
go.
way from
There you
from
go.
from from start to finish. And I think that whether these women consciously said that to themselves or it's just a subconscious thing, I don't know, cultural, but like these women really take pride in being feminine. They take a lot of pride in being feminine.
I
And I
love
think
that. It almost
that,
sounds generational, maybe. Like their mothers and
no, I think
grandmothers are
it
really
is.
teaching them.
You know, I think it is, but like I think they're feminine for them. It ain't just for men, you know. And I think that's
Mm.
I ain't no woman. I'm just telling you what I would do as a man. I don't give a damn what happened in life. You're not gonna turn me soft and
Right.
feminine. I'm gonna be
Right.
masculine all the way, okay, no matter what. And I think that what better way to say, look, I don't give a damn what y'all did to me. I'm gonna be a woman all the way. I'm gonna be this way. Y'all ain't gonna turn me into some Grinch. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I wonder what that
And
is. It's a mentality. It's something about the mentality because here we be ready to just go hard. Like it almost seems easier to just go cold, go hard, thug it out, whatever. Like you know what I mean?
but
And
that's
I don't know where that comes from.
but that's my point, right? That's all right. So like where men might have this whole fatalist idea that okay, well, America doesn't care about me. I'm gonna be broke and going to jail regardless. I'm gonna do what I feel like doing, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think that black women might have developed a different type of fatalism where it's like, well, ain't no man
Mm.
coming no way. I'm gonna just, you know what? Let me grab my balls out
Mm.
of my purse and I'm just gonna keep them out of my purse. And I'm gonna just let them hang
Don't
out. And
pull
I'm
the
gonna
balls
do
out
it.
of
I'm
the purse.
gonna just, and I think just be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Mm.
clearly a level of fatalism there, right?
Mm.
There's something there that says, you know what? I give up. You know, and you done
Yeah.
gave up now, right? And
Yeah.
you miss out on everything that comes with not giving up because like
Correct.
it's very interesting what I see here compared to what I see at home. That's why I say to y'all, come down here,
Mm.
come down here, come down here for a couple weeks, just experience how women talk to each other. Even when I listen to women talk to each other in another language, they don't call each other bad names. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They say,
Right.
you know, it's a lot of my girl. You know, obviously it's always gonna be slang and stuff like that, but like
Mm-hmm.
the way women are communal. I was actually with a bunch of women on Sunday. I ate dinner with like 8 women, you know, and
Nice.
they were just sitting around just talking
Yeah.
for hours. But it
Yeah.
wasn't no big deal. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
They just do it all the time. So it's not like it wasn't like a girls thing. It was just like, well, Steve over here, you know, like,
Sister
but we over
circle.
here. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah.
but how would for the women watching this? How feminine would you feel if you had a sister circle once a day or once every couple of days? You know what I'm saying? Like
Correct.
your femininity would be edified, and you could keep building into that, so you don't ever have to get hard.
I agree.
You
A
know,
million percent. You know, that's
so
when
it
we
ain't.
used to, yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it's so true. That's a
Mm,
good thing to look at. Yeah.
and I think that, and this is, you know, I got a chance to grow with a lot of men in my life, a lot of men through sports, you know, through business leadership. It was always strong men in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to be my masculinity got to be. Uh, I'm gonna keep using the word edified, but I kept getting validated in my masculinity by
Wow.
men, you
Right.
know, exclusive
Wow.
of women, and so And again, I don't know how women are doing this thing, but like, imagine if your femininity was validated by a 60-year-old woman or 60 or bunch of 60-year-old women once or twice a week.
Come
And it's you
on.
and your homegirls and some 60-year-old women, and it's like, girl, come on over here, and y'all just talking, and it ain't about men or relationships, none of that. It's just y'all just talking. All right, and you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. How could you be hard?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it ain't got to be this contrived thing where, girls, we gonna talk about this today. Just imagine if y'all cooked and y'all ate, and you cooked and you ate, and you cooked and you ate, and you cooked and you ate, and you do this over and over again. Before you know it, it's like, dang, because if anybody has watched, I was watching some little boys play, and I think boys are interesting because I love when I was a boy. When I was a boy, I enjoyed being a boy, and I was seeing these boys. It was a little soccer ball, and it's a pallet out in the ocean where you would drop stuff off at, and it's a pallet you could probably put like, it's probably the size of from here to that room right there and back to the wall. So it was enough for like 10 people to get on there. So these boys bring a soccer ball out there, and they're all, playing out in the water on this pallet, throwing each other off and stuff like that. But I was watching how these boys do the same thing men do. They want to get away from everybody else, and they want to rough around and do stupid stuff with each other, right? And these boys will socialize like this until they die. They want to be away from other people, and they want to play games with each other and talk and things like that. And I see women do the same thing here. I don't necessarily see the same thing at home because, and this is just my opinion, I feel like masculinity is overvalued and femininity is undervalued in the United States, in the Western world. So everybody wants to be masculine, but nobody wants to be feminine, including women.
Right. Interesting. I wonder. Yeah. And that's why I love your perspective, especially being somebody who now lives in another country. It's one thing to slide by for 5 days and get a glimpse of things, but to be immersed in the culture, you're seeing on a daily basis things that are different. And it's very valuable to hear that because, I know for me, I did put on as many as I could events for women to gather. And, some people don't even know that I moved, whatever I moved, but they're still asking me for this. So there's definitely, or just the need of us to get together. So there's definitely a thing there. And I just feel like in this culture, we're just so busy with trying to keep our head above water. So do you think that culture is more like that because things are less expensive, or the economy requires less from them so they have the time to cook and chill and commune, or what?
Well, I mean, they struggling out here now. It's not. I mean, these folks are poor. Okay, like
Right.
these people do not have money, like that. But culturally, they made room for family and they made room for friends in life where we did not make room for family and friends. And so, some of these feelings that we feel or should be feeling, you should be feeling because your grandmother did this for you, or your mother is still doing this for you, or your aunt is still in your life and doing these things for you. But instead, you having to reach out to freaking, Sister Soldier over here that you don't know that well to get that validation that you would have got from a family member, basically. And so that's what I see here because, like, I've been here long enough now that I have, older people in my life here that I can consult with and talk to about things, So it's just it helps me continue to feel like I want to feel, But I suggest everybody do that. You need to be getting around people of the same sex as often as you can and talking. You don't gotta be about anything. You need to be talking.
Yeah.
To keep you grounded.
No, I agree. And that just, it makes me feel, because me and my girls were so tight. And, we do what we can. I think we're all just so busy, but via text or FaceTime or little group chats, I agree. We get together as much as possible. We, at this point, we're sharing recipes, we're sharing
Right.
self-care, we're sharing,
As you should,
different, all of this stuff that I'm traveling, other people,
yeah.
like, what are we learning? What are we picking up? What are we going through?
Mhm.
What new way do we learn how to grant someone grace? Or there's just so
Right.
much in it. It is bigger than
Right.
getting together and talking about dudes, or dudes getting together and talking about hoes
Yeah.
and whoever else and whatever. There's so much more. And again, it almost brings this conversation full circle. I love family because I feel like I got that with
Right.
family, whether it was aunties,
Right.
uncles, cousins, me being the older sister, my sisters could come to me. Like you said, the fact that I can still text, call, or hit mom or dad, like, I'm blessed. I know it, I don't
Oh,
take
yeah.
that lightly. When things go on, I'm still like, Dad, what do I do? Like, and I'm grown. I'm like, Dad, So that is just so valuable. But it sounds like at the end of the day, it comes down to community. And, here we are priding ourselves on being isolated.
No.
It just doesn't
It
work.
ain't it. It ain't it.
it.
It's not gonna work long term because we have an individualistic country.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so it makes us a bit colder than we should be. But
Yeah.
it don't mean we have to be that way.
Correct.
Okay. Like I did a barbecue with some guys. It was like me and like 8 guys. We went to the beach and barbecue.
Great.
We just talked to each other. And we were there for 8 hours.
I love it.
But
you need that time.
Yeah, like it wasn't, oh man, my wife this and that. Like, no, we can just eat. We can just talk and we can eat and we can just drink some beer. But those, as men and as women, we need those times with each other just to fellowship one another, And I don't know how we do that at a high level now in this whole, lockdown we got going on. But
I know.
We'll see.
I guess we'll see. I know that's changed my life a lot. I didn't, I'm a very social person. Even in LA, I was doing, a monthly brunch every month. I was getting people together. Like we was together, like, and now it's just like
out and about.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere. It's weird for me.
You back in California now or what?
No, I moved to H-Town. I'm in Houston.
You're in Houston.
Uh-huh.
Man, I've worked in Houston 2 times. I think I've worked and lived there twice. Yeah.
Yeah, so far so
That's
good. I love it. There's space. I was living in downtown LA, so it was just like homeless people screaming, yelling, trashed it. It's just like lit. It don't matter whether you're living in a luxury place or not. It's just too lit.
Right.
So the word on my heart I got was expansion. And before I knew I was moving here, I came to visit just on a whim for my birthday. And I was like, 3 months later, I moved. So I'm like you. I'll pack a bag now. Don't try me. I moved.
Just move. Go somewhere else. What's interesting? What's interesting to me is that every time I've moved, I've made more money.
So first of all, I'm the daughter of a military man. So I moved every 2 or 3 years anyway. And I try to tell my friends who have children and they're like, oh, I don't want them to leave their friends. And girl, if you got to move, you better make that move. Your kids will learn how to make friends.
They're going to forget them anyway.
They're going to forget them. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Nothing keeps you present more than moving and being in a brand new environment. I'm an advocate of finding yourself something new because your senses are heightened. You're present. You're here. I'm in the same boat. I knew moving was my answer. I felt stuck. I was stagnant, having a good time, but then COVID hit. So it's just kind of like, all right, I had to go into my bag of tricks and I'm good for a get up and go. And it's working out in my favor more than I could ever imagine. And I'll bet on that any day. I don't have to be rooted in one place. My roots are within me,
I agree. I think I've been moving every 3 or 4 months for the last 4 years. So
so you going in, you got me beat.
I'd be gone. One thing I found out was you can get friends that's as cool as the friends you had already.
Correct.
Or cooler. They can be even better. They can be even better than the friends you had.
We got
Yeah.
IG, phones, FaceTime. You don't have to lose your friends either.
Yeah.
Like you just
You
end up with
know,
people all over, you know.
look,
I
because
moved here. Yeah, I
I'm
got
gonna
friends
tell
down the
you,
street. Yeah.
I don't know what side of town you live on, but it's a place called Own Korean Eatery, and they got this ramen in Houston.
Korean eatery.
OHN, like Nancy, Korean Eatery. Lord have mercy.
Oh,
They got some brisket. They got some brisket
mm.
ramen. Look, Jaimi,
Look, I'm writing it down.
you need you need to go.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna
Own
go.
Korean Eatery. This place, look, I can drink their broth. The broth for their ramen noodle, the brisket ramen they got is amazing. They got this ice cream they got with the little Rice crispy deal, and they put some honey on top of the ice cream. Lord, it's so
Fried
good.
ice cream. Is that fried ice cream?
It's not fried. It's like like a Rice crispy, but it's not like they don't make like the cereal Rice crispy. Like they have
Yeah.
that, and then it's like vanilla ice cream, and they put some honey on top of the vanilla ice cream,
Mm.
and it's just mm.
Good. You might have just put me on. When I go, I'm gonna tweet you the picture. It look like I'm at
Oh yeah,
home.
you gonna love it because I'm trying to think. It's a few other spots in Houston that's really good, but I don't know what's open because of the pandemic and everything.
So it's open here. You still have to wear your mask and stuff, but everything's open. So
Yeah,
I mean, I went to
yeah.
brunch the other day and I looked around. I was like, oh my God, these people. Okay, well, it's the most people
You
I've
know,
seen in months. I ain't seen this
it's
many
so
people in
crazy.
months.
It's so crazy. It's like brunch is like such an American thing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but here, okay, so they got brunch in the United States, but here, like on Sundays, they just be barbecuing at like 10 a.m.
Oh,
You be
that
eating
sounds
like sausage and
amazing.
steak. You just go to the beach. You be like, "Hey, Steve, we at the beach. It's 9 o'clock. We grilling." What? I eat beef at 9? Like you be grilling at 9 o'clock. You grill all day long.
That
And
sounds
so and
amazing.
you have these little small. Like, imagine how big your computer is. That's how big you're muted, by the way. Uh, but that's how big the what you call. That's how big the grill is. The grill is the size of a laptop, and they just be grilling all the time. It's just, Lord have
That sounds
mercy.
amazing. It sounds like a good
It's so
time.
chill.
And on the beach, why are you playing? I'm about to be out. Let me
Yes,
look at tickets. Like,
come
where can I
on.
be
The
for a
tickets
couple
cheap.
of weeks?
Them tickets from Houston to Salvador should be like $500 right now.
Yeah. Get a little one
Right
way,
now.
couple weeks, come back.
Yeah, come on. Look,
I might have to come
I'm trying to
through.
come
I have my
on. Look,
passport.
I'm trying to get.
What?
I'm trying to talk everybody into coming down here. Everybody need to come
Yeah, to
because
just have a
it's just
moment.
like one thing I understand about travel now is that you don't even know what you like yet.
Uh-huh.
You only know what's been presented to you. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? And so it was so many things I found out I like that I didn't know I like because I left Alabama. You know, or
Like
I
what's
left.
one thing? Sashimi?
I'm trying to think. When I started eating sushi. I was an adult when I started eating sushi for sure. Um, oh man, I'm trying to think. It was a lot of things because some things I opened I was exposed to in the States when I left Alabama, and then other things happened when I came here. Octopus was one. I be
Mm.
wearing octopus out down here.
I used to
Look,
live in
little
Japan,
octopus.
so we eat that. Yeah.
I be tearing these octopus up. They got this octopus salami down here. Shit. All right. I be tearing. Octopus don't stand a chance with me. They get eight
It's so
with
good.
me. It is great. I eat a lot of octopus. A lot more octopus than I thought I would be eating. What else do I like? I always wanted to learn how to dance, but like I really be dancing out here.
I love
I
it.
be dancing out here. Like I dance some now. Damn, I be in classes and stuff. I be in like photo classes. How do this? Okay, this okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I
No.
dance a lot. What's another thing that I didn't see myself doing? I go to the beach a lot. I go to the beach pretty often. Like in a regular week, probably 2 times a week, 3 times a week.
That's
I'll go for
amazing.
lunch. I'll go in the morning just to go. Like I just go to. I go to the beach a lot more than I thought I would be going to the beach.
Right.
Um, I'm gonna tell you something else that stuck out to me because this was something I never saw myself being or doing. But like, I'll be around gay people a lot more here than I would be at home. Like, because in my dance class, my teacher's gay, and so a lot of the students are gay. And so like, I just be with them a lot, like,
Right.
and so at home that would be the case, but it's kind of like I'm like I don't know enough people here to be judged. So I'm just like, they be like, hey, Steve, come to lunch. All right, cool. What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
All right, big dog. All right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's not something that I probably allow myself to do at home,
Wow.
but here it just kind of happened that way, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's interesting for me, but I ain't
You're
had no
growing.
problem.
This experience is growing you. It's
Yeah,
creating new
yeah,
neurological pathways with the new ways of you
exactly.
to function. You've learned another language. Like that is
Hmm.
growth. That is so much
Yeah,
growth.
yeah. I didn't mean to learn another language, y'all. Like I didn't like. I thought I would possibly might learn the language. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was like I remember one day I was in an Uber and I had got in the Uber talking on the phone on speaker, and then it was something happened. It was like a soccer game or something like that, and the guy I was talking on the phone, he's speaking in English, and the Uber driver was like, "What did he say?" And I was saying it back in Portuguese, and I was translating, and didn't realize I was translating. I was like, "Shit, I'm translating." Damn, like,
You're like, I
what's
done
going
messed around
on?
and learned a language.
Oh, shit, I'm out here talking out this motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of like being from a place like Alabama and speaking anything other than English was something I'm like, man, I ain't finna learn that language. And then I'm like, dog, I'm really out here with it. Like, I'm really like reading and talking about capitalism and racism and politics and, you
It's
know,
nuts.
family and culture in another language. But I say all that to say this, you begin to think when you learn another language, you think a different way. You have new words to describe your feelings,
Hmm.
And so if you have new words to describe your feelings, you got new feelings. You understand?
That's no
So
major.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
major.
yeah. And so uh people who speak another language, we talk about this, and it's like you actually develop a new personality
Right.
because your personality is based in words, and so but your thoughts are based in feelings, and so now we have a new feeling. There's a little bit different feeling, and so for me in Portuguese, I'm already pretty positive. I'm like super cool. I'm super fun in Portuguese because I learned all the fun words. I learned all the okay, let's do it. Let's go. I learned those words. I didn't
Right.
learn like I don't know, maybe possibly. Because you're gonna learn the words that are most like who you are. Because I don't know all the grammar and all the structure. So like I was learning like for example, muito, which is like a lot or much. So this is very good. This is very this. This is very that. So I was using those explanatory words like that a lot more. And I made a point to just not say no. I just didn't say no for like the first 6 months I was in Brazil. No matter
Wow.
what happened, I'll just be like, yeah, 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 yeah. And so what wound up happening was I was saying yes to events that I know I would go to, birthday parties, food, like just all types of crazy little situations. Like I thought I was going to a bus stop. I literally thought in the little Portuguese I knew at the time, I thought I was going to a bus stop. I ended up at a birthday party.
Oh,
Like imagine you
that's
walking with
two
someone like,
different
yeah, bro, we finna
things.
go to the bus stop. Yeah, and then I'm like, I'm at a birthday party, bro. What the hell going on here? Like, and I had a blast. I'm in the favelas, and it's all these black people, and we dancing and we drinking, we eating barbecue and everything, and because I said yes, and so then the question is, well, do I have to travel to say yes?
Would you what?
Do I have to travel? Do I have to travel to say yes? No, I can say yes at home.
Yeah.
I can say yes
But
to
it took
everything
you
else.
being out
Yeah.
of your element and in a new environment to allow you to be present enough to be like, yes.
All right, come on, let's do it. And so like yeah, it was some special moments there last year. But do anybody have any questions for me?
That is bomb. Well, we did have some
Anybody? Let
comments
me
in the
see what
chat.
y'all talking about.
Sunny Rose said Vietnamese food is really good.
Yeah,
Jaimi
yeah,
visits Brazil, King Speak Edition. Girl, you could come with me.
yeah.
Let's go. Grilling in the morning.
These unicorns.
Yeah.
Wow. Appreciate you, Sonny. Dang, Sonny, yeah, you out here with it, Sonny. But
Yeah, she
yeah, Jamie,
right.
like, yeah, Jamie, I think that, yeah, if y'all ever get a chance, like, and this is another thing I had to understand within the context of being black, right? Like, do you know how easy it is to stick out as a black person?
Yeah. Living in Japan,
It's
I
so
definitely stuck
easy.
out. They're like, wow, like your
How long
hair,
were you
your
in Japan?
skin. For 3 years. I lived there for 3 years.
Oh, amazing. When you were young
Okinawa.
or when you were an adult?
I was old enough to remember, but I was not an adult. I was in middle school.
Ah,
So like,
okay.
12,
Oh,
13,
okay. You was
14,
old enough,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you were old
So
enough, yeah.
being black, I got to learn about how it was to be black and, there. But then I even, I did a job in Singapore a couple of years ago. And even there, it's like, they're like, oh my God, the way you talk and you're this. And they all think you're Beyonce. It's like amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was talking to somebody last year. You talk like Will Smith. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I mean, we
Obama.
speak English, so
What? Yeah.
what? Yeah, Obama, like, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
it's funny. It's funny to me because, like, they're consuming parts of our culture and not the entirety of our culture. So they only see
correct.
like Fresh Prince. Oh, okay, wow. Well, you a dude and you black.
And you're
Fresh
black and you're
Prince,
tall. The Fresh
hey,
Prince, yeah.
Fresh Prince, all right. And so it's interesting, but I would say, like, it doesn't take a lot to stand out, and that's what I'm trying to. I am trying to stand out amongst the crowd, everybody, not just my race, but I want to be. When you see me, man, Steve, man, I want to be like you, and I want to be an Asian dude, a Mexican dude. I
Yeah.
want a white
Yeah.
dude. Steve, I want to be like you, dog. I don't want it to be like, I don't want my defining quality to be like, man, he really was a beacon for black people. No,
So
no,
much
I'm here for
more.
everybody. I'm
Correct.
here for everybody. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to impact everybody. So, that's where I am right now. Jamie, it's like midnight my time,
I
by
know.
the
I
way.
love it. You're doing a good. We went in like I didn't even expect this. We didn't even know. But I knew it was going to be good because it's you. So you
Yeah,
are making that
I
impact. You
appreciate it.
are,
I appreciate it.
yeah. The majority of men I've had on this show, for the most part, I've had a closer relationship with. Like we've known each other for years,
Yeah.
whatever. So, to be able to connect with you like this and get so much wisdom, like this was fun. I can't
I
even.
appreciate it.
I don't even know how to cut this up. I'm gonna be like, y'all just gonna have to watch the whole thing. Like you're just gonna have to
Just
watch
watch the
it.
whole
Like
thing.
just
Just
watch
watch it
it. Let it play.
all.
Just watch the whole thing,
Look, this is what you do. This is what you do. You gotta cut it from here and let this be the beginning of it. Like, hey guys, look, just stay for I know it say 2 hours and 18 minutes. You gotta just hang out. All right.
You gotta do
Just
it.
hang out and don't be mad at me. You can be mad at me. It's okay because
Oh,
you
you can
really
be
mad
me,
at you. You
yeah.
ain't mad at me.
Yeah.
You mad at me. You mad at you. You ain't mad at
He's
me.
still at it. He got the sauce at midnight, y'all. He got
Look, I'm telling y'all ain't gonna be. Look, you be mad at me, but I bet y'all ain't wrong. Okay,
How about
I
that?
bet
You're
y'all
gonna
ain't
come back in a
wrong.
month and be like, okay, he was right. I
Dang,
feel him
Steve
on
was
that.
right, man. But yeah, Jamie, I appreciate it. I
This
appreciate
is
it.
amazing. Well, we should stay in touch. We should definitely do this
For sure.
again. Before we get out of here, definitely want to tell people where to get, what you have coming up, where to get your course, what you have going on, so they can, fall into that.
All right. So first things first, guys. Steven Storey, you see that right there. That's where you're gonna find me on Twitter. If you go to gumroad.com and you type that in, that's where you'll find me on Gumroad as well. For the most part, you just go to Twitter and then my link is there. You can go there. You'll see everything I have. I have a course on independent insurance adjusting. That business changed my financial life. And if you're interested in it, it is pandemic proof. We've been super busy all pandemic, and it's something that can help you. It's allowed me to travel to all these different countries, work in these different countries, and get debt free and all those other things. So if you are interested, come check that out. I don't just talk about insurance. I do talk about a lot of these things that me and Jaimi talked about fairly regularly. But I'm always open for any questions y'all got about. I'm always here to help.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for all that you do, for being consistent, for being built different. We see you built different. Yeah. I don't know if you'll be available Thursday, but I'll make sure to send you the link because us girls are going to go over some of your main points and we're going to talk about it.
Oh, man. Come on.
Because we got to
break it down.
Be on the same page, So
now I will say this. I have seen one of your girls' episodes already.
Oh, you did?
I've seen one well before. I saw that one before the King Speaks. I saw you and the ladies a while back. Back. Like, it was during pandemic, but it was a while back. I forget when. I know I saw it for sure.
Yeah. I stay with the interviews. We got all kind of stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for me.
I love it. You got to get some rest. You done poured out for us tonight. I'm so appreciative.
Oh, yeah.
And, we'll stay in touch. So thank you for everything. Get some rest.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, y'all. And thanks for tuning in. See you on the next episode of King Speak. You can catch King Speak on Tuesdays and Queen Glean on Thursday. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
All right, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.